mentioned South Africa cashing in over 60 to 80, but then today when the new ball became available, it was 20 minutes to tea, so you'd have 2 bites of the cherry. Any reason it wasn't taken?
At that point, I think we were just looking at tea time to get through, give the quicks an extra 10 minutes, and then to come full steam in after tea. But it got to a point we had to take it.
Mickey, no matter what the conditions are, the Pakistan batting bowled out within 200 runs. Where do you think they lack?
It's just the extra bounce. The extra bounce. Our techniques have been exposed just a little bit, still staying a little bit leg side of the ball instead of trying to get offside of it. And in these conditions, you've got to be offside of the ball really, in order to play the short ball well. But that's tough to do because it goes against the grain of what our batsmen do normally. You know, our batsmen make pace, stay a little bit leg side of the ball. They make pace, square the wicket because of the wickets that they're brought up on. In South Africa, particularly Australia, England to a point, you try and stay offside of the ball. So when you're defending to mid-on, and that's the best way to counter the bounce. But it's totally alien to our batsmen, and we've done a hell of a lot of work on that pre-tour. You know, bear in mind we came out of Abu Dhabi. It was and 3 months in the UAE with
the guys bowled well this morning.
Yep.
If the Boomer catch had gone and you knocked over a couple, it could have been a bit different.
Yeah, it could have been a bit different, Craig. But I'd say we've been outplayed here significantly. My issue, I think, it's Centurion. Since Centurion, we got ourselves at 100 for 1 in innings 3. And if we had got 250 ahead, which in Centurion, it would have been a very, very good game of cricket. And I would have backed our bowlers there. So it was a missed opportunity at Centurion. I don't think here we've played quite well enough yet to say it was a game of missed chances.
Mickey, are you going to?
Because back in 2010, South Africa's home record particularly was withdrawing a lot of series and all of that, and South Africa won 17 out of 19 test setups. Do you think this is the way to go if you were back in guard?
If I was coaching South Africa and we were possibly playing a subcontinental team, yeah, it's probably the way to go. I'm talking with my boots on the other foot, and looking at it as a genuine cricket contest. Higher than stump height really, to coming to Benoni where we spent seven days considerably working on trying to get their techniques better to the short ball, because we knew South Africa were going to come hard. We knew they were going to bowl as many short balls as they possibly could, and that's been the tactic against all subcontinental teams in this part of the world. So we did work on it, but you know, the bounce is just the extra bounce is something that we need to cope with and need to cope with quickly.
Yeah, that's quite a good. Most teams will be happy at 382 for 6. So that's either a reflection on your bowlers, or it's just. You know, it's
yeah, no, fair enough, Craig, and you're right. You're right. They are 382 for 6, but yeah, I still believe in a good contest at Test cricket. But again, we're not at home, so we haven't got to say. It's just I do think the wickets have significantly got worse from when I was here when I was last coached South Africa in 2010. I do think they have.
Fahim Ashok seemed to give a good account of himself,
yep.
And you mentioned how potentially in tours like these he could be a good option to have. Do you worry about his test match prospects? Because if he's not going to play test cricket in South Africa, then you wonder where he's going to get a game.
He'll get a game, there's absolutely no doubt he will. When we sit down and select, we select for balance of the team. We went with 6 batsmen this game. After Centurion, we felt we needed 6 batsmen. We looked at the wicket. We thought there was enough work there for 3 seamers, and we knew if we could take the game deep, the spinner would come into it. And because the wicket's fairly dry, we saw Yasser turn a couple towards the back end. Your spinner doesn't come into the game in this part of the world, certainly until day 3 or 4. And here we've got to get the game there for him to come into it. But you know, when you set up strategy, you set up your strategy as a glass half full strategy, that we'd get enough first innings runs to bring our spinner into the game right at the back end of it. So you know, I think that's the route we went, and we can debate it. I've sat and thought about 5 bowlers often. We've spoken about 5 bowlers a hell of a lot, and you know, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can go to 5 bowlers, or we can go to 4 bowlers. We went with the 4 bowlers this game, and you know, rightly or wrongly, it'll play out in the end.
But you worry when you're bowled out for 177 and Asad Shafiq and Shan Masuda bowling 8 overs in a day. You can't afford to give away.
The wickets haven't been good enough for Test cricket. This wicket in particular, what would be your criticism of this one?
I just think it's inconsistent. You know, we saw how many. I think there was 7 stoppages today for balls that hit cracks, and the fizz, you know, came running out. And we're talking about day 2. I understand it if that gets to day 4 and day 5, because that's what happens in Test cricket. Wickets deteriorate significantly, and so they should. But it shouldn't make your first innings a lottery. And I still think batting here in the first innings is extremely tough, and the wickets are degenerating a little bit more.
Maybe a crop of South African players, based on your analysis, what is some of the similarities to the teams that you coached before, or differences that you've seen?
I think this is a really good crop of players, you know, and again, bowlers win your matches, and South Africa's attack is outstanding. You know, when you've got 3 guys there that are bowling at over 145 consistently, and then Vernon who doesn't give you anything, and is, you know, he challenges your pad and edge of the bat every ball. So it's a very good side. And the batters seem to be better, blooming. I mean, Algo gets the job done. Markram's a very good player, I think, and I think he'll be a very good player for time to come. You know, so and then you know, Hash and Fuff and Timber played well. So no, they look a very good unit, particularly in these conditions where the wickets suit them.
Talking about the spinner and Yasir Shah, the role that you see, like if you can get it like in the Test match, do you think South Africa maybe missed a trick in not picking their spinner for when they've got a bat, when you've got a bat for the second time in this Test match?
No, I mean, it's an interesting debate, you know, and I think we both went. We thought long and hard about playing 4 seamers here, and then thought, well, we've got possibly arguably the best spinner in world cricket. So we thought it was a no-brainer, because if we get the game, and you know, so it did turn significantly for the last 20 minutes today. And that's only day 2. If we get that to day 4, he plays a massive role for us. South Africa would say, probably with the uneven bounce and the cracks that have developed, if you're bowling it at 145, it makes it pretty difficult to face as well.
Faf batted on a wicket like that. How good was Faf today?
Yeah, I thought Faf was excellent today. I thought the temperament he showed through the day was outstanding. I really do. You know, I think you know, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I haven't been back to South Africa since, or in a cricket capacity, since 2010. And the standard of the wickets, you know, the wickets that we had at Centurion and the wicket here, I think it hasn't been good enough for Test cricket.
Maybe just on that, I mean, how much has it changed from the time that you were in charge? I mean, the kind of wickets you had then compared to now. I mean, how drastically has that changed?
Well, with South Africa, particularly when you play a subcontinent team, you're always going to ask for a little bit of bounce and pace. I think both wickets have been very weighted in favour of the bowlers, and obviously it's home ground advantage. So that's right. You know, we get the ball to turn a little bit in the UAE, but you want to play on wickets. Like I'd hate, you know, poor Aiden Markram, I thought was outstanding yesterday. But being an opening batsman at international level in South Africa at the moment is a tough gig.
Be good enough to get South Africa out or contain the runs?
Of course they're not. But we had 3 seamers who toiled hard today. I thought the first 2 hours, I thought we bowled particularly well. I did battle a little bit with the comeback spells in terms of pace, but you know, we toiled hard today. South Africa scored at 3. We wanted to bring the rate back down this morning. South Africa went at 3s today, which was a good reflection of us controlling the run rate. unfortunately we didn't get the wickets. And normally, if you can control the run rate, build some pressure, the wickets ultimately take care of themselves, which they didn't. I thought Faf played exceptionally well, and Temba played exceptionally well today. Yeah, it was tough there for a period, and yet they got through it and got through it well, and they showed the value of taking the ball to over 60 to 80, because that's where you can cash in and cash in properly.
There's been a lot of talk back home about Yasir Shah playing instead of seam bowling all-rounder, and we've seen him, he's not been really effective here. So what's your take on that? Do you think Pakistan is perhaps missing a seaming all-rounder?
Yeah, if we had a seam bowling, a genuine seam bowling all-rounder.
No, Fahim Ashraf.
Yeah, it's Fahim Ashraf's a bowler who bats a little bit at the moment. We're hoping to get Fahim Ashraf into that all-rounder role. But I think anyone who watched Yasir Shah's last 2 overs there would have seen how much it turned. And if we could get the game to the 4th day, the spinner would certainly have been in it.
All your frustration with that Azhar Ali catch, substitute given out, but
it was actually quite easy because I got to demerit point last week, so I made sure that Grant Luden held me back. I said, just hold me now, and we did. But to be fair, Azhar wasn't 100% sure that he had caught it either. So it was a little bit different to last week.